Hello everyone, I'm obviously in London. This is Chelsea Bridge. I'm wearing a shirt. I'm not in the workshop. This can only mean one thing. It's that time of year again. It's the Chelsea Flower Show. And I have got terrible hay fever. I'm looking forward to having a little sneak preview around. Today's Monday, it's the press day. I'm very, very lucky. Thank you to the BBC for inviting me down. Last year was amazing. And I'm sure this year is going to be even better. Everybody, I'm so sorry to interrupt the video. This is not an advert, this is good news. I've just found out that the first series of Make It at Market has been nominated for an NTA award. I can't believe it. The Repair Shop has been nominated before, and the Repair Shop is nominated again this year. But Make It at Market is the first year, the first series, the very first try of doing it. And it's gone down so well with all of you and everybody that's watched it. I think it's well deserved. There was a big team of very talented people that helped put that show together. Not only the makers and mentors that were on the show, but all of the camera crew, the production, the editing. It was just a beautiful show. I loved working on it, and I think and everybody else loved making it. It was a brilliant time, and I think that really comes across and really shows. There'll be a link below in the description to the awards website. It's a public vote, so I am relying on you guys, please, to follow the link, best daytime category. So you can skip through the other categories if you want. There's quite a few on there. At the moment, we are on the long list against quite a lot of others, quite a lot of other good shows as well. If we can get on the short list, I'll be so pleased. What an achievement that will be. Follow that link, skip through to best daytime and vote for Make It at Market. And honestly, it will make my day. Let's get back to the flower show because things are just about to get good.
Yeah, the charcoal in the bottom heats up this chamber. And you've got a secondary chamber with a vent so you can cook at a different temperature. So you cook with two different temperatures. And then we've got the open grill section with a fire cage behind it. So you do your open grilling and...
Brilliant.
And these, keep the charcoal store in there. Get the wood stored in the other ones. So it's just all easy to hand.
It's a big oven. It's awesome.
The ultimate outdoor cooking station.
It's so much more than just plants and flowers. The standout things for me are quite often the sculptures. There's some very, very clever artists that go there that make some beautiful sculptures. One of them in particular that I loved was these little wire chickens, but it's all made of steel wire, which must just be an absolute nightmare trying to make that, bend that long length of wire, bend it around in on itself. I think they were absolutely brilliant.
Two of them that flow in, come together and then join into the king post.
Is that a king post or
yeah. And I hand carved it all with a gouge chisel.
Get all of that the whole way along.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Wow, look at it in here.
That's fascinating.
That is incredible. Is it okay to go in?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. So a lot of this is medicinal, there's sort of edible mushrooms in it, but the artist is like, it's basically some
you
sounds,
can hear, yeah.
The electrical wave.
They're coming from the mushrooms.
From the mushrooms,
and it was something is converting it to...
Yeah, no idea how it works.
Wow. Another highlight for me was the balancing rocks. They were just absolutely mad. I don't know how, I can't remember how much they weighed, but it was tens of tons each one.
The small point of contact on this was extraordinary for me because I do balance them with that small point of contact, but not as tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, honestly, I must have been about 4 days stropping, which is key, because you've got to get the orientation right.
4 days of trial
4
and error.
days of just stropping.
Just
so that's
how
getting the
to pick it
straps
up.
right,
Yeah.
so it hangs in the right way. But the interesting thing was, what I always try and do, in fact better from this side, is I have to balance it, but also I need to marry the contact point of the top stone and the bottom stone, so that you can never see the fixings.
So yeah, 'cause you don't want to kind of up the void there.
No.
Yeah.
So I mean, I tried it all over, to be honest.
And you see, it'd be tempting, I guess, to just grind a little pocket.
Well, I
a little
did.
bit
I
away.
did do a little bit of work on this. I mean, I'm not
hidden,
precious.
but-
I'm not precious about that. You know, to find something that exactly.
No, but this, for such a size,
I mean,
it's
it was only
incredible.
about 5 mil,
Yeah.
just off the back of that little
Just to get it flush.
because it wouldn't sit quite right. But
And how much does that weigh? That top one?
the whole thing's 11. I think
11
the top
tons.
one's 6, the bottom one's
Jeez.
5, and it's on a big stand as well.
Oh, he's on a base.
Yeah,
under
so
there.
basically you just dig a little excavation. The stand weighs a ton in itself, and it's rust proof, so
What's
it
that,
lasts
like a
forever.
steel plate?
It's made of RSJs.
He genuinely balanced these two rocks. It took a while of kind of like trial and error, like sneaking it round, leaning it up, and then as soon as he found that little sweet spot, it just stood there.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It was actually fairly windy, and I was like, it's going to fall off. He's like, no, it's fine, it's balanced. It's all sat and balanced, but it's just completely loose. And then some of the gardens, it was brilliant looking around some of the gardens. When you say gardens, I mean, some of them were more garden based, but then you come walk around the corner and there's a huge waterfall, big rocks, and it's all been brought in. Should have brought my hiking gear, goodness me.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Really. You'll feel like that when you're up here.
Oh, it's incredible. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so you don't really get the feel for that when you're down the bottom. So
No.
it's nice to be up here.
Will this be open to the public or not? No.
It is special visitors and special guests of fauna and flora who'll be coming for evening events as well.
So I think they're working for like 2 or 3 weeks beforehand to get this stuff in, but it must just be absolute chaos.
My name's Tom, and I'm the garden designer. And Chris here made this fantastic. He's going to
Hi,
talk about
how are
the
you?
building. So my brief from the sponsors was to celebrate British craftsmanship and show it off to its very, very best. So I found the finest craftspeople I could find. So Chris made this fantastic building, and we had a sort of woodland theme. So Chris designed this arbour, so it obviously quite clearly inspired by woodland. And we were saying that from craftsmanship is taking a natural product and turning it, refining, stylising it into something even more beautiful. And then Rachel Chudley, who's over there, she designed this bench, and we got the best embroiderer, and so it's like even natural hand dyes, but everything was made in the UK by British designers. So all that the bench is made from offcuts from the furniture industry, waste wood, and even the stone we're standing on is the sort of offcuts when they quarry blocks out and they cut off all the ends and sell off the block.
Right.
This is all made
These
over
are
what's
those
left
bits,
over.
yeah.
But here you can see it in its raw form.
Oh, right,
Really
wow.
nice to see the fossils.
And
So
that's
that-
all fossils?
Yeah, like
Same as these.
hula hoops.
This is just a cross section, essentially, just cut.
exactly.
Yeah. Fossils of what?
Brennelids, I think they're called.
So they're cut-
but don't quote me on that because
No, of
I
course.
have got an O level in geology, but that was in 1976. And then we got this fantastic rain dance pool here. There's a famous painting, William Tross Richards painting, The Woodland Glade. It's got this lovely pool with dripping water into it. And I thought, how are we going to do that? So we've got 100 pipes underneath with the little solenoid valves that open and close in 0.1 of a second.
I've never seen that. It's not a thing that you
No,
see.
no, we designed it, yeah.
So what, have you got a network of pipes under
100
there?
pipes.
And then
100 solenoid valves and a big computer back there that's programming this to work.
and so is it air?
Yeah, no, water.
It's just water jets.
We tried air, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
It took us a year to work out how to do that.
Lovely to actually look at some plants as well.
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm from Raymond Everson Clematis, and this is our stand here at Chelsea 2023. So there's 3 groups of Clematis. The group 1s are the early flowering ones and evergreens. So you have in there, you have your Montana, your Alpina, Macropetala, Coriana, which are the early flowering types. Masses and masses of flowers, and they finish usually getting on to middle of May, end of May. And then we've got the group 2s that click in. Now these are all the large flowered hybrids that start to flower early doors and finish before June. Now the group 3 Clematis are all the ones that flower from June onwards. So you've got all the later flowering ones, and those are all the group 3. So that basically, you can tell if your Clematis are group 1, 2 or 3 by what season it actually flowers.
When they flower.
Group 1s you don't prune at all. You only prune group 1s if they've got disease, they're dead, broken, or they're off in a direction that you don't want them to go and you want to keep them within an area.
Yeah.
Group 2s, you prune after flowering by about 1/3 and then don't prune again. They will often flower again in September, and if you've pruned them after your second flush, you're cutting your flowers off for the following year. Now the easiest group to prune is group 3, because all you do with those in February the following year is you cut them off to knee height.
Because I've got a few Clematis in the garden and trying to differentiate which is which. And he cleared that up for me, so thank you very much. And it was just lovely to see so many people that are absolutely dedicated to their sort of niche area within this amazing world.
Okay, so I am Dr. Nathaniel Bagshey-Ward. The beautiful, delicate, tropical plants you see here today at Chelsea wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my invention of the Wardian case, now known as the terrarium, because it was almost impossible to transport the plants in the ships. Most of them would die, but this changed everything.
I am Robert Fortune, the incredible Scots gardener, who is employed by no other than the East India Company.
Wow.
By the executives. They were struggling for silver. We ran low. We had no cash other than the cash in my little case here. That was my little bonus. They offered me to go off to China and study and research the tea market using a Wardian case. By 1846 I had enough knowledge to steal, to take thousands and thousands of tea cuttings. Using the money I had and a little bit of Mandarin I spoke, I settled myself amongst the farmers and I smuggled thousands and thousands of tea leaves in a Wardian case back to India, where we learned our own growing of tea. So now we teach this in our workshops, and it's incredibly important for especially young professionals. They come in with no space. So we're representing a small space at the houseplant studios here as to how someone would live if they had a small space. But the terrariums lend a bit of nature indoors.
And of course, we saw Woodpecker Joinery. Really nice to see them and chat to them. Their little stand was looking pristine and beautiful as ever.
You might recognise that structure from the garden. This is where I first saw it, a year ago now.
They are the nicest greenhouses that you could ever want. Chelsea Flower Show. Well, that was good. It was really, really nice.